Hey, what's up guys? Chief Pat here, and today bringing you guys a brand new Clash Royale video. And today I'm going to be bringing back some mailbags onto my channel, and today I'll be doing a Clash Royale mailbag for the very first time. So if you guys have never seen a mailbag video, you guys can send me your questions on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube comment section, wherever, and I'll feature a couple of them in every single video. So drop your questions below or hit me up on any of those websites. More specifically, I use Twitter the most, so hit me up at Chief Pat with your question. And let's go ahead and start it off with Jake Q, aka at FastReader18, who asked, at ClashCon, do you think there will be any Clash Royale events? If yes, do you think there will be a tournament? So currently we don't have any details for ClashCon, but you guys might remember that the CEO of Supercell, Ilkka Paananen, said at the last ClashCon that he hoped to see some of the same faces there 10 years from now at ClashCon. So I would assume that there's going to be a ClashCon every single year from that statement. So I think it's safe to say we're going to be seeing a ClashCon this year. And as far as Clash of Clans and Clash Royale events go for it, since both of them share such, similar IP, they both use a lot of the same characters and stuff like that. And if you guys know the story behind Clash Royale, it's sort of like an alternate place in the Clash world, I guess. If you guys saw the interview I did with a couple of the developers before the game actually came out. So I would imagine that they're going to both be inside of the same event at ClashCon. That is just a guess, an educated guess, I guess you can call it. And he also asked if there would be a tournament. I would assume that there would be some sort of tournament. My ultimate dream is to have a Clash Royale World Championship. I think first they need to have better features in the game for defining true skill, such as a tournament feature. That's a very obvious one. A way for people to match up, having their cards the same level, and to really find those best players, because chances are the #1 player of the world is like a free-to-play level 8 player who no one's even ever heard of, compared to just someone at the top of the leaderboard. So I think they need to get that set out of the way first to make some sort of tournament. They still might do something like an invitational, maybe with some YouTubers, with some of the higher ranked players, probably with Jason from Finish Clash or something like that. But yeah, I would expect to see a couple of those things for ClashCon, and we'll just have to see what happens whenever Supercell announces that news. So next up from Jacob Edmonds, he asked, do you think Clash Royale has taken over Clash of Clans? Personally, I never play Clash of Clans anymore, just Clash Royale. I think both games, are actually doing great. I have to say that I wanted to do a video talking about how both games are at a really positive point. I feel like this is sort of the golden era for both of the games. It's not, Clash of Clans isn't the same as when Clan Wars came out. That was really like the craziest moment for the game. But as far as just like solid updates go, the last like 3 or 4 Clash of Clans updates have been amazing. And for Clash Royale goes, obviously everyone's been hooked, and it's been so good since it has come out. To where I feel like both games are in a pretty good spot. I don't think Clash Royale has stomped over Clash of Clans. Obviously, for certain players, they might like Clash Royale more, and they only have a certain amount of time that they can play, so they play Clash Royale instead. But I feel like a lot of people that I've talked to, whether it's people inside of both of my clans, or even just on Twitter and the YouTube comment section, it seems like a lot of people play both games, so I really feel like they coincide pretty well. They're definitely different experiences. Clash Royale is, you can play literally every single second that you want to play. You can't always progress once you get the maximum amount of wins for a day, whereas Clash of Clans takes a little bit more time to build up an army, even though they did make some changes in the most recent update. So I really feel like they flow pretty well together, and judging by both games' popularity in the App Store rankings, I definitely don't think Clash of Clans is hurting. All right, so next up from Lauren, she asked, what is your opinion on lower level play becoming extremely hard to break through and toxic for new players of the game? So what Lauren means by this question is, if you guys are in a lower level arena, you might notice that there are a bunch of people down there that don't necessarily fit in. Sometimes I'll play on my friends' accounts. Don't call me a win trader, they're like level 4, but I'll play on their accounts and I'll see they're playing like level 8s inside of extremely low level arenas, or they're playing, they're playing some really ridiculous, like they're playing like 3-level mismatches down in lower arena play. And that's just sort of how the game goes. Don't blame it on the players. If someone's a level 8 or a level 9 and they're not very good at the game and they're a lower level, it could be like some 95-year-old playing Clash Royale who just doesn't know what they're doing. It's not like they're intentionally trolling you and trying to match up with a lower level player. It's just that they're probably not very good at the game. And that's just sort of what happens when you have the current matchmaking system that Clash Royale has. So for me, I feel like it definitely is annoying to break through playing a lot of those higher level guys when you might have a 3-level disadvantage. And you can see that arrow fail right there. I was looking at that. That was pretty bad. I was trying to predict. But anyways, yeah, I think the solution to this, to make it so it's a little bit more bearable, is by having a casual mode. I've talked about that in a previous video, but if you had a casual mode and you made it so ranked was like strictly serious in that way, and you had a casual way for people to play people that are only their level, I feel like it would be a lot easier and a lot less tilty. Obviously, ranked would still be super important for leveling up and ranking up to get better chest and to unlock new cards, but having that casual mode, making it so it's not as quote-unquote toxic, like Lauren said, for the new players who are just starting out, and having it so you play like ridiculously higher level players, I think is the best way to go forward. All the solutions I've heard to fixing the fact that you can match up with higher level players, none of them really work out to me just based on Clash Royale's matchmaking, and I don't want to spend too much more time on the question, but I feel like a casual mode would fix a lot of those problems, making it so people matched up with people their level instead of the casual mode, or at least like even level cards. So yeah, good question. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about that problem in the comments section below. All right, so next up is from David Marino. He asks, don't you think you're going to make a new Chief Challenge versus another sports player? Congrats on the first gamer to hit 2 million. Well, I wish I was the first gamer to hit 2 million. I am the first mobile gamer, which is pretty cool. Good question. As far as like Chief Challenges go, I'm always talking to athletes to see if they're down to do it. And especially with Clash Royale, there's way more professional athletes who play Royale than Clash of Clans, at least from what I've gathered on Twitter. I know a lot of people in the WWE follow me. There's a couple of NBA players, NFL players, and sometimes I'll ask people from Supercell if they know anyone who plays their game. So I'm definitely always working on organizing those. We've done 2 so far with Harrison Barnes and Gordon Hayward, and I've talked to a bunch of other people about making it happen. So I definitely try to make those challenges happen as much as I can, and we'll see what happens going forward. I've got like 1 or 2 people that I'm talking to do some pretty cool challenges, but you never know. They're sort of just random, and they happen because obviously professional athletes are extremely busy, and they only have certain times that they're able to play a mobile phone game with me for my YouTube channel, so it's pretty tough, but we'll see what happens going forward in the future. All right, so Frank asked, what is your opinion on a 2 vs 2 game mode in Clash Royale? This is obviously one of the first ideas people had when they saw the game. I mean, it's a really cool thought that having like 4 lanes, or having, I guess, 1 player in each lane on the map would be pretty cool. I think they'd have to be creative for how they made it work. If you look at games like League of Legends, where you have to balance cards, and in League of Legends it's champions, it's sort of hard to make it happen inside of different game modes. So if a game mode in League of Legends was called Dominion, and they had to like separately balance the game around a separate mode. So if they had 1v1 in Clash Royale and then they had 2v2, like a game where you had 4 lanes, some cards might be more powerful inside of different game modes, so it'd just be a really big struggle to make that happen. Also, keep in mind that the Clash Royale team is somewhere around 10 to 14 members. That's usually what Supercell games have. Clash of Clans, I think, is a 10 to 14 person team. Clash Royale is the same exact way. And if you're going to have a whole new game mode, you obviously, and if you had to balance around that game mode, obviously having only 14 people would be pretty tough for that. So I wouldn't really expect a 2v2 game mode anytime soon for those reasons. Obviously a really cool idea, but the fact that they're already working on so much more stuff and that it'd be a little bit hard to balance makes me think that we might not be seeing it anytime soon. But who knows? I've been proven wrong before. Cough, cough, single player maps. So we'll see what the Royale team's cooking up sometime soon. I'm just hoping for a tournament feature or something of the sort, and that would definitely make me happy. All right, so Tag asked on Twitter, why isn't the Wizard used more inside of the Legendary Arena? So for me, I think the Wizard, probably one of the worst cards in the game. He's easily counterable when he's on your side of the map, which is one of his problems. Also, if you look at a card like him, the Valkyrie, which is pretty much like a melee wizard with way more hit points and way more versatility, the Valkyrie only costs 1 less elixir, and it has a bunch of other advantages that the wizard simply doesn't have. I can play 1 elixir skeletons to counter a wizard as it comes over to my side and take 0 damage on my tower, whereas the Valkyrie is a little bit harder to deal with. The Valkyrie fits better inside of certain compositions, so for those reasons, that's why I think the wizard's a little bit weak right now, and I don't know exactly how to fix it. Maybe they could make him, I don't know, if they made him cost 4 elixir and weakened him in other ways, then he might just replace the musketeer. So the wizard just isn't in a great spot right now, and maybe they'll touch on him inside of the next update. So hopping into the final 2 questions, Killer Rainbow Bunny asked, do you think Supercell will start making commercials for Clash Royale? I think they definitely will. They've made commercials for every single game that they've made that's gone public. Even Heyday has gotten some commercials, believe it or not. They had some with the guy from Hot Tub Time Machine that I don't think ever played that much or aired that much, but they still at least made them. So we'll see when the Royale commercials come out. The game's been out for, let's see, it's been, I think it went into soft launch January 4th and it went global March 4th or something like that. So it's been a little bit of a while. So maybe in summer, in fall, I definitely would expect them this year. And it's already crazy to think how popular the game is without ever playing any commercials. If you guys remember that Clash of Clans really got its big boost when the commercials came out. specifically like the Clan Wars commercials. I think were like some of the very first ones that they made. So yeah, I definitely expect to see some Clash Royale commercials, and I hope that they're even half as good as Clash of Clans commercials, because those are obviously some of my favorite that I've ever seen, including the Super Bowl commercial where you guys saw half of my face. So final question from Zapping Strike. He said, would you think Clash Royale would be so popular without Clash of Clans? By the way, love your videos. I think that, you know, obviously Supercell has a really strong place inside of the mobile community right now, because Clash of Clans, such a big hit that people were waiting on their next title, which was Boom Beach, which was also really good. They have Heyday, which is really strong. All Supercell makes is really strong games, and especially having Clash of Clans there made it so people were more likely to try out Clash Royale, including us YouTubers doing videos from Clash of Clans to Clash Royale and posting them on our channels. Obviously, it helped blow it up. It was just a huge storm that led to Clash Royale just being so popular. But even then, if it was a new publisher making the game is just so good, it's hard to believe that it wouldn't have been popular no matter what happened. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, drop me your questions in the comment section below, or hit me up on Twitter. That's definitely the best way to contact me, at Chief Pat, with your questions, and throw me a follow. I'll be doing another mailbag video sometime soon. I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace out.